Shalom, thank you for joining us this afternoon for our Far Above Rubies Women's Bible Study. We give all praises to the Most High, Ahaya, Yeshaya, and Wawak, the Holy Spirit. We're going to get started with our credo, Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4.
Shema Yasharala Ahaya, Alahaya Nawa Ahaya Akkad, Hero Israel, the Lord our power is one power. Shema Yasharala Ahaya, Alahaya Nawa Ahaya Akkad, Hero Israel, the Lord our power is one power. Shema Yasharala Ahaya, Alahaya Nawa Ahaya Akkad, Hero Israel, the Lord our power is one power.
So we give all praises to the Most High for this lesson. Today's lesson is going to be on how self-confidence is misleading to women and how the world defines it is misleading. Before we get started, we have a little test. So you're going to need your paper and a pencil. And this is a psychology test. And it's supposed to show you how people see you or how you see yourself. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to first write down your favorite animal. And the men can do it too, but we're focusing on the women. So write down your favorite animal. And live stream, you can do it as well.
What is it doing? What happened?
It shows only two. And
Maybe that's all it's huh?
three. Okay. Is it good? Okay. So what we're doing is we are doing a little psychology test before we jump. Animal you would prefer to have as a pet. And a third thing, you're going to write your second favorite animal, whether it's in the wild or domesticated. So first thing, you're going to write down your favorite animal. The second thing, the animal you'd prefer to have as a pet. And then the third thing, your second favorite animal, either domesticated or wild. Now with each of these animals, you're going to write a characteristic for them that corresponds with each animal. And again, that corresponds with this animal. Dogs are seen as loyal. Monkeys are seen as being smart. And again, this test is showing, it's going to reveal some things about yourself or how the world is supposed to see you. So moving on, the first animal is supposed to describe who you really are. The second animal is supposed to show how people see you. And the third animal is supposed to reflect how you see yourself. So with the animal that shows, the second animal, it shows how people see you. So what was your second animal?
Are you asking us?
Yes.
Mine was a monkey.
So how people... So
Wait, what was your first one? My first one was a dog.
So a dog, it represents loyal, humble, brave keeper. You're protective, friendly, and submissive at times. A monkey represents a confident, cheerful, or funny personality. You are practical but skillful and versatile. You have a third animal?
I put koala, but I don't know what would go with it.
So I have a list that shows actually what each animal represents. A koala isn't on the list. So it says if your animal is not listed, that means you're a unique person, and sometimes it's hard for others to define you. So live stream, if you did the test and you want to know what your animal means, you can put it on. It shows one person.
I just asked, I'm waiting for Shamaria to answer me.
True pause?
It's only one person.
Yes, no, she said yes, it's working.
Okay. Okay.
It is working.
Shamaria said
It's
it
only
is.
showing you one person.
Yeah, it's only showing one person.
She's on.
I think it's going in and out.
Oh wow, Shamaria said her second one was a tiger.
At times. Now again, this is a psychology test. So this is what psychologists use today in order to help people, I guess, find themselves or see how people see themselves.
She said the chat is going in and out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The live stream is going in and out.
Are you on Firefox?
Yeah.
She said, what was something?
What was the tiger? The tiger represents a powerful, elegant, and authoritative figure. You are active, unpredictable, and solitary at times. Are we going to start?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So, getting into our lesson, we have to know the difference between self-confidence and self-esteem. Self-confidence is how you project to the outside world. Now, the word self-esteem, or what the world calls self-esteem, is actually misleading in many ways. Self-confidence is pretty much the opposite of what the gospel teaches us. We're going to get Luke chapter 9, and we're going to read verse 23. Luke chapter 9, verse 23. And self-confidence misleads women by telling them to focus on yourself.
Is that the same as taking care of yourself?
No, it is not.
Okay.
Luke chapter 9, verse 23. And that reads, and he said to them all, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. To follow Yeshua is to deny yourself of anything worldly. If you want to be confident women, then you cannot be focused on yourself. When the world talks about self-confidence, they like to say that you need to focus on yourself or it's all about you. It teaches you to be selfish. You have to recognize that your confidence doesn't come from who you are in this world. So any confidence that's based on the flesh, it's already a shaky foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Romans 12 and 2. Romans chapter 12, verse 2. It, and be not conformed to this world,
Mm-hmm.
but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High.
Romans 12 and 2.
Romans chapter 12, verse 2 tells us not to be conformed of this world.
Slow it down.
Proverbs chapter 16, verse 3. And we're getting scriptures that's showing how focusing on yourself, what the world says for self-confidence to focus on yourself, will mislead you. It's teaching you to be selfish, not to trust or lean on Yeshua. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 3. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. So whatever you do, if you commit that to Yeshua, if it's holy, if there's not any sin involved, then you're on the side with Yeshua. It's important that when you're trying to establish a confidence in Yeshua, you have to have a relationship with him. And again, the world doesn't teach us that. It teaches to lean on your own understanding, to trust in yourself. If you want something, go out and do it yourself. Luke chapter 21, verse 36. Luke chapter 21, verse 36. Watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. Self-confidence misleads women of the Most High because it doesn't last. Self-confidence is always based on what you do. It's what people see you doing.
Your outer appearance.
The outer appearance.
So that's why well, I'm gonna let you go ahead and finish that, and then I'll say what I have to say.
It's also based on how others see you or how you appear. It's everything external rather than internal. Okay.
And that's my next thing I was going to get to, because that's the same thing as false confidence. When a woman gets a makeover, or she dyes her hair, or hair extensions, and get her nails done and a new outfit, that's um, false and fake self-confidence, because you go get your hair done, eventually that hairstyle is going to wear out, that color is going to wear out. Then what you're going to be left with? You know what I'm saying? And that's why when you see the women have breast cancer, the first thing they want to do is go and take this person for a makeover. You know what I mean? And that's physical, false self-confidence, fake. So if you are in the Most High, and you're dealing with his confidence and things that is of him, what would you do? I wouldn't take you, a cancer patient, a person that had breast cancer, I wouldn't take her for a makeover. Not like that. I take her for a makeover spiritually, for her soul, for her spirit, for her soul, meaning that counseling, prayer, wisdom, understanding, knowledge, healing, deliverance. That's the way it should be handled. Someone that has stage 4 cancer, why would you go and because of the cancer they're bald, so you'll go and buy a wig for them or get some hair glued on their head? You know what I mean? That absolutely does nothing for that person when you could have given that person life, meaning the words in the scripture. and that person could have got healed and grew their own hair back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then on the inside, you're still dealing with all the mess.
Yeah. So it's still messy inside. And you remember in the end of Matthew, Yeshua told the Pharisees, he said, that they wear all these nice clothing, they look good on the outside, but on the inside, they full of dead man bones. So you're not helping no one. And for the women that's still in this truth, and you still wearing that weave and hair dye and fingernail polish and all that stuff, that's false confidence. That's not going to last. Because when you really think you're feeling good, the devil going to come when you think you're at your highest, because the higher you go, the lower, the harder you fall. So you're really going to be messed up.
So this self-confidence that doesn't last, it's rooted in comparisons, achievements, popularity with others, and so forth. Comparisons. You have women that are comparing each other. She has a husband that's a doctor. Well, I need a husband that's a surgeon. Something better. Achievements. Well, she has her degree. Let me go to school so I can get my degree, even though you're not told to do that. The popularity. You're trying to work your way up the social chain by knowing people that are celebrities or that have money in your area. And then it's these modern catchphrases, mom guilt. There's a lot of platforms where women, especially women with children, can connect with each other. And on these platforms, there is so much of wrong information that's going forth. There's women that are talking about, my husband watches porn, but it's okay if he does it without me as long as it's not with an actual another woman. And these women are saying, that's okay, or they allow that with their husband. Or these women are doing things with their children that can harm them. And the woman's like, oh, that's okay, I've done that before. It's not going to do anything. So
it's worldly.
It's worldly wisdom.
Yeah. Counsel from the ungodly. That's what happens.
And these women that are supposed to have this confidence, they're leading other young women down the wrong path. Now, confidence that's based on self is just one moment away from failure. It's not going to last. Like we said before, it's a shaky foundation. And it doesn't matter how many times you've been patient with your children or sacrificed or served your friends or obeyed the Most High. Because at one time you mess up, you're back to square one where you feel low or depressed, anxiety. It doesn't give you a solid foundation.
Right.
It's false from the beginning. Like Amal was saying, a makeover with a cancer patient. It's not going to last. Again, confidence in the flesh is only temporary. We're going to get Psalms chapter 73, and we're going to read verse 26. Psalms chapter 73, verse 26. And this is the worldly self-confidence that if you ask a woman, and even some women that's supposed to be in the truth, they'll give you the same answer of, having that image of self-confidence and, being built up or having you got a high-paying job or a high degree, something that the world can see. There's not many women that will give an answer on anything internal or having a relationship with the Most High. Psalms chapter 73, verse 26. My flesh and my heart faileth, but the Most High is the strength of my heart and my portion forever.
That's right.
So your flesh is going to fail you. Being in your emotions and trying to go get things for yourself is going to fail you. Your strength, the Most High has to be the strength in your heart.
Something on the chat. Is it working fine?
Yeah.
It's just going in and out for some reason. Are you on Wi-Fi?
You can do work with this. Okay. Other than having anything else but Yeshaya in your heart, you will fail. It's important that you have to not listen to the world when it comes to things about self-image and having confidence, because they're going to mislead you. Everyone has this idea of what they're supposed to be or what they're supposed to about how the women lead to their own understanding when it comes to this self-confidence.
She says frozen. We're gonna restart the chat.
So we start the live stream?
Yeah, the live stream.
Okay.
Oh, she says back now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we're not gonna restart.
You have to, like it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. And everything you do, acknowledging Him. If you do that, you're not going to go down the wrong path that He has already set for us. It says, He shall direct thy path.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you do, He'll let you know if you should take that job or not. Now, even though it could be a high-paying job, and if He tells you not to take it, don't do it, because there could be so much destruction at that job for you.
Oh, Shamaria said that they make other races look more feminine, and then 12 tribes more masculine and not desirable.
They do. And I have seen where, and this has been online, where they make the women, you see a lot of men saying that they would never date black women and stuff like that. They have this already set characteristics of what a black woman is, or a woman of color in that fact. Because then they say, Ephraim or Issachar, how they're loud and aggressive. And so it's already these set characteristics where, the world doesn't want to have any dealings with them.
She also said, and that takes an effect with women and confidence. I know that affects me at one point. But see, that stuff affects us if we allow it. Because a woman that's in the Most High, a daughter of Zion, we know who we are. And that's what Shepherd and I had ended the teaching with last night. And we were saying that I know who I am. All praises to the Father. I did know, but more being coming to the truth, learning the Bible, believing in Yeshua, mother showing me who I am, going through healing and deliverance, I know who I am, and I give the Father all praises for that. And I accept who He has called me to be. I have been the woman that was 110 pounds, that had the highlights. I never had fake hair because I always had a lot of hair. But the false nails, the false eyelashes, the makeup. I had to have the wardrobe. And let me tell you something, I have had the brand new cars. And guess what? I was so dark inside. I was so broken. I didn't know who I was. And some days, that's why I can speak on it. Some days I would feel so bad and so tore up inside. And I would go and buy me a box of perm my hair, give me a can of gold spray highlights, blonde highlights for my hair, do my foundation, do my makeup. And I would do all that. And on the outside, you would have really thought I had it together. But inside, I was full of dead man bones. I had died a spiritual death. I didn't know who I was. Even though I had all this makeup and all that stuff on, sometimes I didn't even want to live anymore. So it's false. It's fake. And if you don't grab on,
women because it's easily faked.
yeah,
A lot of people on social media, you see this. On YouTube, there are many accounts where women are strippers or sugar babies, and they're flashing how they wash their money, how they wrap it up with rubber bands, and how it's so glamorous. But in order for you to have to use your body to get money like that, what is really going on inside of you? There's no confidence there. There's
no,
no respect there. The world has been so advanced with technology now. We have Photoshop. You Photoshop pictures. They have the perfect lighting and the different filters. It's all fake. It puts on this show that they are secure with who they are, and they even have the different apps where you can take away your freckles and your blemishes. Now, if people really know you, they're like, what happened? I thought you had freckles or something. Now you're on the social media, you have a clean skin. At that, it's ridiculous nowadays. All it's doing is covering the insecurities that you're dealing with on the inside.
promoting self-hatred.
That as well.
Oh, Shamari said it's when you step out of that worldly mentality and look to your shy and mother shows. She show you who you are. You can't care about what someone else looked like. And I remember, and let me tell you this, we say I'm worldly, but in the so-called Christian church, man, it's competition all over the place. The women with their, from what they wear, you will have people starting on Monday or Tuesday trying to buy a new outfit so when they go to church on Sunday, they go get their nails done for church. I'm gonna tell you, and it's truth, I have never went and got my nails done for the Sabbath. What is that about? But when I was in Christianity, I went and got my nails done for church. I went and got my hair done for church. But what is all that about? Look at her wig. She done went and look at Sister So and So wig. Ooh, that thing look tired. Like it's bad. It's really, really bad.
And how often is it that you're looking on social media and you see that this person is happy, they're celebrating whatever it is. They seem confident, like they have everything together. And then they admit to you that they're depressed or they're lonely. And then you're thinking, but I thought you're portraying that you're happy, that you have everything that you need. And then it goes again with celebrities. You have these celebrities that are just, it seems out of nowhere that they're just taking their life. And you're like, wait, last week you just won an Oscar for a best actor. So what happened? All of it is just an act. It's a show.
I remember one time in a Christian church. When I was in a Christian church, I used to wear. I was the kind when I would wear eyeshadow, I would wear many colors blended together, so it stood out. And I remember that it was on a Sunday morning, and the church was full. I don't know if you all remember this. And wait, something's going on with the chat. Give me a minute. Is it working out?
No, it's not.
Okay. So I remember on a Sunday morning, yeah. So it was like, it was about almost maybe like 70, 80 people in there. And I had a green blouse on. Remember that green thing I used to wear with all them different colors in it?
Yeah.
And I had a lot of different color eyeshadows on. And the first lady, the pastor's wife, made a point. She would call herself talking to the women. But she made a point to call me up there. And she couldn't help herself to talk about the many colors of eyeshadow I had on. And it was not like she spoke to build me up, but it was more to tear me down. I don't know if you all remember that. And she was like, "Look at sister over here. And, she come up in here on Sunday with her many color eyeshadows and this and that, and and I'm just like, what does that have to do with anything? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So even if an elderly woman in the church see one of the daughters that's got all this on, why did she have to pull me in front of the entire church to make a point? You know what I mean? Why she couldn't wait and out of love talk to me to the side? But it's not like she said, daughter, you don't need to be wearing all that. She brought me in front of everybody to make a mockery out of me. And you can't do that because you can really damage someone. So I just want to put that story
Mhm.
out there. But Shamaria said, oh yeah, I used to hate my lips, LOL, and be to the point where I cover my lips when I talk, LOL. It was foolish and the hatred because I wanted to look like the women on TV. People use social media to portray a fake life to be accepted and boost that temporary feeling of confidence.
But even to this whole natural hair movement, half the women in them photos are wearing afros, fake afros, or fake
Really?
braids. Yeah. So even so, you're looking on the YouTube, and they're like doing this to wigs and weaves. So you're gonna looking on YouTube the whole force. Like, why isn't my hair curling like that? Why isn't it staying, moisturized like that? They're using wigs and weaves.
So they're
So
lying.
yeah, so
Oh,
even when you're thinking it's legit, it's supposed to be, women of color, the natural hair, whatever, curly patterns. It's just, even that's a lie. They
so
got fake afro puffs.
so that's why you don't look to worldly women as an example. We can go far as to we look to the scriptures. You know how Yeshaya tells us how a daughter of Zion is supposed to be, how a woman of the Most High supposed to be, and not from what we see on these different shows and magazines. Because
Mhm.
we have to know that these women are broken. These women are broken. They have had terrible, terrible childhoods, and they have not even got the proper help. Because even if you go to a worldly counselor, that's not the proper help. Because the only thing can mend that broken heart is Yeshaya, is this word here. So even if you go to a worldly counselor, eventually, I mean, that's not going to be a long term, fix or resolution. You're still going to, fall back into, oh man, you're still going to deal with some kind of self hatred because they didn't minister to that spirit. They didn't minister to the soul. It was it was the fleshly
Mhm.
thing, temporary.
And then you're teaching the daughters to have that same type of mentality or spirit. Sometimes I would look up for Araya, how to do different hairstyles for little girls. And I was looking, and they had little girls, and their hair was braided, but then, like Amina said, they had the fake Afro puff on these little girls. So they're even teaching that to the young girls. That's 1 and 2.
So they're starting off at an early age teaching them self hatred.
Yep.
They're not teaching them to love themselves. And even though I was worldly when I had you all, I thank the Most High for now allowing me to put that in you all. But I didn't do the fake hair. But for my own selfish reasons, I did put relaxers in y'all hair. And that's because y'all was really tender headed.
Mhm.
But I didn't do it because I wanted y'all to have straight hair like little white girls. That was never it. It was that you all hair was so long and so thick that it hurted you all. And me
Mhm.
thinking carnally, I tried to do something about it, like putting a relaxer in the hair instead of just, getting that
Grease and
grease
water.
and water and them rubber bands, and just, I didn't stick to that. But even when you all was teenagers, and I tried to get you all to wear, like, because I was selling Mary Kay, so I was trying to get you all to wear the little light natural foundation and lip gloss. Y'all still wouldn't go for that. You all, it was just never in you all. You never liked it that. So, and I thank the
Yeah.
Most High, because remember, in the Christian church, some of them girls that came in there at 13, 14, 15, they was looking like
And
clowns.
have full face of makeup.
They was looking like clowns for real. So I'm glad you all never did adopt that. Now I did, because I grew up with my aunties and my mothers. They were models. They, dressed fancy, a lot of makeup, and I fell into that. But you all never did.
1 John chapter 4, verse 1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. Goes back to what we were saying about the social media, people portraying to be, happy when they're not. Like they have everything together when they don't. Colossians chapter 2, verse 8. Beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Yeshua. Here, Paul is trying to remind the people that it wasn't their great knowledge that brought them to Yeshua, but faith. Now, the worldly education of man builds up man. Again, that's the makeup and the doing the hair with the weaves and the cutting and dyeing of the hair. And this brings vanity and pride. And we know Yeshua is opposed to that.
So not only are you dealing with self-hatred and all that, now here comes vanity. So it's just, you just piling it on. You're getting worse and worse.
And then it comes the pride. So how are you having self-hatred? You hate yourself, but then when people see you, you have pride. It's just a bunch of confusion.
The devil is the author of confusion. Yep.
Self-confidence misleads women by enslaving them. You have your sights set on what self-confidence is. You either become content that you are enough already, or you strive for perfectionism. And you have this got it together act going on. And it even goes to when a lot of people say a good Christian girl, it's all an act. Self-confidence is directly opposed to the gospel. And a lot of women fall short. You have to know that you do need a savior to be redeemed. And you have to be transformed inside and out. And when the world says you're not enough on your own. You need Yeshua. Like Paul was saying, none of us have arrived to that perfection. We're going to get Philippians Chapter 3. We're going to read verses 13 through 15. So you have a lot of these songs and poems saying that, oh, you're enough. No, you need Yeshua. You can't get your salvation on your own. Like you don't need him. This one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, and reaching forth unto those things which are before. Verse 14, I press toward the mark for the prize of high calling in Yeshua. Let us therefore, as many as be perfect, be thus minded. And if anything ye be otherwise minded, God shall reveal even this unto you. So when you swallow this world's whole self-confidence pill, the one that trains you to focus on the external things, you miss out on the peace and the joy and the happiness. You miss out on the secure faith in Yeshua. you miss out on an authentic confidence that cannot easily be destroyed or broken down. So, what does the Bible teach us about growing in authentic confidence? Not one that can be easily broken down. Romans chapter 12, verse 2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. Scripture commands us not to conform to the pattern of this world, but to be transformed from the inside out. And that's starting with your mind. When women first come into the truth, they're taking away the piercings. They're cutting the perms out of their hair to leave their hair natural. They're throwing away the makeup and the nail polishes. The pants. They're transforming themselves.
So with the renewing of the mind, we get an understanding of the things that we should be doing and the things that we should not be doing. So then after that comes the transformation. That's when we start getting rid of the pants, buying the dresses and the skirts and putting the fringes on them. That's when we go from the shirts that says gold digger to a higher. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's when we trade our thongs in for full figured underwear, full coverage. we get rid of that lingerie that represent lust, and we get the proper coverage, modest coverage, because we understand that we don't need all this stuff if we're married to keep a man of the Most High, and we don't need all this stuff to attract, if we're not married, a man of the Most High.
So that's how the first step towards a confidence that is centered on Yeshua rather than yourself is to get an understanding of what it is you need to do and change your way of thinking. Because once you make that change and you go around other women in your family, they're going to talk about how you look bad without your makeup, or you need to make an appointment to get your hair done. When it's your natural hair, you're wearing it in an afro.
I remember when I was my last year of college, and this girl was in my psychology class, my statistic. She gave me a card to her beautician, because I guess she just thought my hair was the worst. It's not like I said, "Oh, girl, where you get your hair done?" She's walked up to me and gave me a card, and I was like, "What's this?" And she was like, "Oh, that's my beautician. She can really do hair." And I'm like, "Why do I want that? I never asked you for that."
That happened in Walmart too. We had went to Walmart,
and the
lady, she came up, and she was a beautician herself. She came up and gave us the card and was like, "Come on over to my shop when you get a chance."
We were all together. I don't know if you remember that.
But that's our natural hair.
But the thing about it, these were Judah women.
They were.
These are women of the 12 tribes, and they are ashamed of what Yeshua has given them naturally.
And that woman that came up to us in Walmart had on a wig.
She had on a wig, and she's talking about doing our hair.
She didn't even have her real hair on. As women of Yeshua, we can't afford to approach confidence from the same perspective as the world, because it will be a shaky foundation for us. And there's no type of worldly wisdom, or there's no type of wisdom that the world could give us to show us how to be women of Yeshua.
Nope.
Self-confidence, the definition for self-confidence, a feeling of trust in one's abilities, qualities, and judgment. So it's confident in.
Oh, this is Ramon said she would have told the lady, "Come on down to the Sabbath."
So with that, that is the end of the self-confidence lesson. Okay.
Well, I got a story of when I had felt this so-called self-confidence when I was in college. We had bought some new dresses, and I thought I was looking cute. So I wasn't paying attention to where I was walking. I was just walking through the halls, strutting, thinking I was really cute. And I realized that I was going the opposite way of where my class was. I had ended up by the exit sign, but I had too